Hi everyone, this is Hamp, one of the TAs for the Daventry Code Forward program. I'm going to do a quick video on how to get Git and Bash onto your Windows operating system. I have here Windows 10, which is a clean Windows 10 install. So go ahead and go to the git-scm.com/downloads page. Go to download Windows, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm doing this actually downloading live because it should be a very small download. Okay, it was finished. Going to go ahead and run the installer. Go and click next. Program files is fine. This right here is kind of a preference thing, whether or not you want to check for updates within it as well. You don't really necessarily need to do either of those. I would keep this as the default setting, and I would keep this as the default setting. Actually, I would check this one. So this will give you more Unix-like commands. Use the native OpenSSL library. Check out Windows style, commit Unix style. That's probably fine. And this default as well is fine. File system caching, get links, all those checked, do the actual installation. So once this finishes, well, actually, let me go ahead and go into PowerShell here. You'll notice I did this just a moment ago, but if I try and use the git command within my terminal, you can see that git is not a recognized name of the commandlet. So this is essentially that path issue that we talked about, where git has no meaning in our operating system. So we need to map the phrase git to the actual git application. Now that we've installed this, it should have added that. But remember, we always need to close and reopen our terminals when we change the path. So if we do git now, there, git is now installed, and we can see all of the different options that we have for using git. And now also by way of example of what git is, I guess I didn't really explain that, but it's how we can get the code from the Daventry Code Forward GitHub page onto our local machines. So that way we can then edit it in something like Visual Studio Code. So let's go ahead and go to github.com/Daventry Code Forward. And let's say we want to get the code or the starter code, an example work for the Chapter 9 homework assignment analyze text. Go to the page, click clone or download, click this button to copy this link right here, and we're going to clone all of these files, all of this work that's on here to our local machines. We'll be able to verify that it is all the same in fact. So if you remember some of the commands that we went over before, you can do ls, which is list, see what kind of folders we have here. This is really preference where you put your work. I'm just going to make a directory and call it Daventry Code Forward. There are more right and less right ways to do it, but this will probably be fine for starting. And I pressed tab there to auto-complete it. So now I change directories, and we can see that this directory is empty. So if I do git clone and then I paste that link in there, it's going to download all of those files into an analyze text directory. So 09-analyze text ls. We can see, look at some of these file names. Go back here. We can see that we have those exact same files. So I guess just to validate that the files contain the same information as on GitHub, we can go ahead and type vim, which is like a built-in text editor, into our terminal here, and analyze text. Analyze text. Okay, yeah, it's the same. So what we did was just clone a repository from GitHub to our local machines, and we now have the work here to be able to work with it. Also, just danger around Vim. I mean, we're going to be installing Visual Studio Code. I would recommend highly doing that for starters. This was just to show you that the contents were the same as what is on the I hope this was helpful for getting Git installed and being able to pull code down onto our local machines. We will be doing a Visual Studio Code installation for Windows 10, and then thereafter Visual Studio Code extensions and Visual Studio Code Python debugging. Hope this was helpful.